Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Live from Paul D. Schreiber High School, it's a battle of the undefeateds as the Wantagh Warriors make their way up to the North Shore to take on the Port Washington Vikings right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. This game is brought to you in part by our sponsor, ChiefGraphics.com. And now, thank you very much for joining us here. I'm Nick Peniagua. Joined alongside me is Brian Soper. And Brian, we got ourselves quite a battle here. Again, both teams coming into this one undefeated. I believe it's both of their final non-conference games as well.
Yeah, both teams undefeated. Both teams coming off wins against Suffolk County, high-level competition. Harbor Fields for Port, East Islip for Wantagh. New coach for Port Washington, starting 3-0, and Wantagh is coming back. They want to be the last team standing this year after a tremendous run last season. Right, Coach Polo has the boys fired up, and one of the scariest offenses in all of Long Island lacrosse.
And I feel like even saying it's scary, it's a lot more terrifying once you see it in practice, because once you see them firing away, it feels like their options are limitless on that end. 4 of the top 100 players on the top 100 news, they come from here. They also have a couple of All-Americans on this team, so if you're on the side of Port Washington, you better watch out for the Warriors as we take a look at some of the key players for Wantagh.
Yeah, Wantagh, right? You have Devin Passione Jr. committed to Villanova. Tremendous IQ, great vision, over 100 assists last year, picking up right where he left off with 14 points this year. And Joe Nicholson, his game keeps evolving, right? Two-way midfielder, the ability to score inside and outside, clear it, play defense. These boys will be teammates at Villanova, and 2 great players for Wantagh.
Just 2 of the weapons that the Warriors have. They did travel up here to take on yet another undefeated team in Port Washington. This Port Washington team's got a new man in charge for the program. Glenn Levy, coming over from Harbor Fields, has already seen a more positive outcome that they've had last season where they didn't win a game. Now they come into this one already starting off 3-0 and 3 very closely contested games.
Yeah, 3 games that kind of could have went either way. Last year, 4 wins, but they beat Massapequa, right? They played teams like Hills, Huntington, Southside, Farmingdale, Wantagh. Just a killer schedule. Levy's looking to try to connect the youth to the high school and really build on this Port Washington strong lacrosse tradition.
We will touch upon Port Washington's youth programs later in this broadcast, but still, let's get a look at the key players right now for this Vikings team.
Yeah, Tommy McCarville, right? He's going to be kind of moving around, right? Kind of interchangeable, a dynamic player committed to SUNY Maritime. See him on attack this year, more midfield last year, right? And sophomore attack, right? 8 goals on the season, right? Harry Anon, right? He's been that kind of up-and-coming player, right? His brother in the goal, him scoring goals. Been a great recipe so far for the Vikings.
It will be a fun battle today between brothers. Because of course, you have the Martinis over on the side of Wantagh as well. So, we're moments away from the first face-off in this game. it could be anybody's game, really. Port Washington haven't been able to get much going on the offensive end, but on the defensive end, haven't let up more than 6 goals in a single outing.
Yeah, and that's the great matchup, right? So far, Wantagh is averaging 17 goals per game, 13 goals last year, right? So Port's got their hands full.
As we take a look at Wantagh's starting lineup, of course, at the attack, Devin Passione alongside Luke Martini and Mac Jacobello. And over in the midfield, of course, Dylan Martini, Army West Point commit, Joe Nicholson, Carter Loftman. Taking faceoffs for them, it will be Jake Harkin. And back in the defensive area, it is Patrick Forthifer, Dylan Campisi, Chase Dankenbrink, and of course, in between the post, Gianni Persaro. About a minute and a half before we get to this opening faceoff. Wantagh still looking to stay undefeated, and a big part of that is thanks to their junior goalie, Gianni Passaro.
Yeah, I thought Passaro was really, really good against East Islip. Mount St. Mary commit, 14 saves against East Islip, some of them really, really tough and tight. You know, looking to kind of fill those shoes of Conklin and following the line of great goalies at Wantagh like Jake Gambitsky. And this kid, left-hander, really, really has the experience on varsity to get it done.
You know, talking to Coach Polo about Passaro, he had nothing but high praises for him. He came in starting last year after their goalie last year was hurt in the middle of the season, said he really stepped up into his role very well and led them to a county championship, or at least helped them get there, helped them get to the LIC. And this whole season for them is all about getting back to that game.
Yeah, he had double-digit saves against Kellenberg, GC, Southside, so he played some of the big boys.
Now taking a look over at Port Washington's goalie, of course, it is Harry Agnon's brother. Oh, pardon me. We'll take a look at the starters first, looking at Will Amity at the attack alongside Tommy McCarville and Harry Agnon. Over in the midfield, Brendan Lang, Jimmy Gannon making a return for Port Washington, and Jacob Apat. Harry Behan, Gavin Neville, and Orange Shishoa will be on the defense for them. Taking faceoffs, it will be Griffin Marvin and Max Agnon in the net for Port Washington, and he's been lights out so far.
Yeah, it's going to be a great battle, right? Sophomore, all-county last year as a freshman. You know, this progression I love. You know, started 48% as an 8th grader, 52% as a freshman. Now he's over 70%. You see him gaining the confidence. All county last year, one of the best on Long Island in terms of young goalies, 3-time starter. Is he the best in the county? Right, still a question mark, but he's pretty darn good so far for the Vikings.
Out to prove himself, especially in this one against one of the most potent offenses. But will they be able to keep up? We'll have that answer when we come back after this break.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
Welcome back here at Port Washington, where the Wantagh Warriors are getting set to take on the Vikings in a non-conference matchup. And we'll get right into the keys to the game. And we'll start with both of these teams. What do we got going here?
Yeah, Wantagh, right? It's all about grit and toughness. They want to win the GB battle. Active sticks in the lanes, knock down passes, and play with respect to the game, right? Move the ball, do the dirty work, but respect your opponent and play hard. Port Washington, got to win the faceoff. You need the ball. Keep the ball away from the Warriors, right? We have to clear it effectively. That can lead to more possessions for the Warriors, and you got to weather the offensive onslaught. Hang in there, make some saves, Einen, right, and keep this thing close, right, and try to pull off what most would see as an upset today.
Just moments away now from the face-off of both starting lineups face off against each other. Speaking of face-offs, take a look at who will be starting at the face-off for both teams. Griffin Marvin, the junior from Port Washington, will be taking on the junior from Wantagh in Jake Harkin, and it should be a very fun matchup there.
Yeah, Griffin Marvin, second-year starter, 105 wins last year as a sophomore, 53% against some really good competition. And you got Harkin, right, replacing Will Greaves, who was 71%. But Coach Polo loves his just physicality and his ability to scrap it up at the X. And, maybe a guy who relies a little more on his wings, but he's been very impressive so far for Wantagh.
Get ready to go here. Both teams get set for this face-off.
Yeah, so Nassau has kind of gone to like 3 leagues, right? Kind of like an expanded power league this year, right? So both these teams are in that top tier League One, right? So the first time we're seeing these two teams match up.
This face-off, an early jump right there from Harkin. And Port Washington will start with the ball. We'll see if they can put up the game's first goal. Behan will take it up the near side. Goes straight to the net. 1-on-0 with the goalie. Shoots. That's saved, though, by Pissarro off his feet. And Wantagh get that right back.
Yeah, good save by Pissarro. That's Behan, right, senior. Already had 1 goal and 1 assist last year against Wantagh. 4 goals last year with his pole. So not surprising to see him take it to the rack.
Very good opportunity right there to notch his first of the season, but Wantagh managed to clear it, and now they'll have it. So they'll bring on their offensive personnel.
Yeah, you mentioned 4 players in the top 100 for Wantagh. The lone Port, Harrison Behan, on defense, 21.
Now Wantagh will be working this one around. Carter Loftman with it, he'll give it right back to Matt Giacobello.
Yeah, kind of a 2-4 sideways look, kind of 2-man games.
Continue to work it around. 25 on the shot clock right now. Up top with it. Dylan Martini.
Yeah, you see Martini matching up with Behan. That's worth the price of admission.
Now they'll decide to attack. 12 on the shot clock. They pass back out. After Giacobello. Martini back with it. Goes inside. Shoots, and that's saved by Einen.
Yeah, good.
And what a play right there. Not allowing Einen to get it over to his defender. That'll be the game's first goal.
Yeah, that was Luke Martini. Right, Einen makes a great first save on his brother. Save on Dylan, right? Maybe Luke wasn't too happy, right? Gets in the goalie's face. That's what, you get in his face because it's a really good outletter of the ball. Can's an easy one. Luke Martini, right, 55 goals last year, 10 points this year, 7 goals, make that 8.
Talking to Coach Polo about Luke Martini, he's just a freshman, but even last year as an 8th grader when he was on varsity, he's always been a very aggressive player.
Yeah, he's
right there, it just goes to show.
He's super skilled, and he's definitely got bigger, stronger, and faster from the 8th grade, so look out if you're a coach anywhere in Nassau County and have to play him for the next 4 years.
Looks like Port Washington will win this face-off. They'll get it back on the offensive end. And offsides will be called, so it's going out Wantagh's way. They want to fast break it.
Yeah, so then you talk about possessions, right? Port wants to win that battle.
It's a shot and just over the net. Wantagh will still retain, though.
Yeah, I mean, you gain a possession with a face-off, right, and then turn it over with an offsides, right? You cannot let Black get the ball. Wantagh is too scary.
Jacobello will take it behind the net. Doesn't have a lot to work with. Pardon me, that's Devin Passione. He'll pass that one off to Jacobello, who shoots, and it's saved by Einen.
Yeah, 2 for 2 on real shots on him. Great stop there. Way to stay on the pipe and control the rebound.
Now Orange Shoshua throws that ball back to Wantagh. Over to Martini. Fires away, off the post and in the goal. That's Wantagh's second of the game.
Yeah, it's hard enough to stop them, but when you allow them to get second and third opportunities off the ride, Einen makes a great first save. The clear gets dropped on the ground. Passione head up all the time, looks and finds Luke Martini for his second goal of the game.
Second goal of the game and 9th of the season so far for the freshman. Really been finding his way into this Wantagh team. And again, we've said it right before this broadcast, there's just way too many weapons you have to deal with. We'll see if Port Washington can get another good possession in. So get ready for the face-off. Port Washington has won both today, and they'll win another one. Harkin jumps just a little bit too early.
Yeah, when you talk Luke Martini, I was talking to some of the Wantagh faithful today, and I was trying to figure out like total goals and people who have the points. You know, Pat Walsh, 390 points. You got Mangan has 333 points. I don't think points are in danger with Luke Martini, but that goal record might be.
Liam McCarville will have it. Shoot just wide, though.
Great save, right? 2 for 2, right? Staying hot from his East Islip. Three quarters really strong by Pissarro. It was a good save off hip.
Brendan Lang will take it straight to the goal over the net, though, as he's hit as he tries to shoot it. That'll be Wantagh's ball now. Two shots both knocked away by the Warriors. Already have 2 goals here, just about 3 minutes into this one, but that ball's way over his head. Possession is retained, though, but that's a yard sale. The sticks loose, picks it up, still has the ball, and he's still trying to move. Looks like he may have stepped out of bounds, though, going Port's way.
Yeah, good ride. Liam McCarville, all conference last year, 11 goals, 11 assists, shows his ability to ride, knocking that ball down.
Get ready to go here. Taking this up for Port, it will be Brendan Lang. Takes it up to the far side.
Yeah, Brendan Lang was honorable mention All-County last year. He's committed to Muhlenberg.
Keep working it around. Tommy McCarville with it up top. Guarded closely by Forthifer. Gets it over into the middle lane, shoots, but that's a save by Pissarro.
3 for 3 for Pissarro. Saves it, controls the rebound. That one was pure robbery by Gianni.
Now Wantagh's trying to set up a fast break. He's trying to get to the net, finds Passione behind the net. And they'll have to just slow it down, work it around again.
I think if you're Port, you're pretty happy on the offensive end. You've had the ball for 3 possessions, and you've gotten 3 pretty good looks. So that's encouraging for Coach Levy.
Dylan Martini with it up top. I'll pass that back over his shoulder. Now it's time to attack. Carter Loftman shoots. Still Wantagh ball.
Yeah, the crazy thing is that Loftman is going to get a ton of short sticks this year, and he's 6'3", junior, right, going to Albany, just feasting on short sticks all season.
Passione wants to attack immediately, loses the ball, and that's scooped up.
Yeah, tried the shovel shot. Not sure, if Einen got a piece of that, but he was all over it.
Will be Einen who gets tipped. The pass is tipped. No goalie in net. That's an easy goal right there for Wantagh as Matt Jacobello finds his first of the day.
Yeah, if you're Coach Polo and you say, how are you going to score your first 3 goals? I don't think they quite look like that. 3 of them off the ride. Dylan Martini, right, like he's hunting prey, right, hunting down Einen. Back checks him. Boop, right out of his stick. Right, it goes to Jacobello, the junior.
An open goal right there. Timeout taken on the field by Port Washington. And while we have the time, we'll talk about Chief Graphics. Chief Graphics specializes in custom graphics and signs, helping schools, businesses, and organizations bring their vision to life. Their expert team manages every step of the process, from design and fabrication to seamless installation, making them a one-stop shop for all graphic needs. From press box graphics, wall and floor wraps, mesh field signage, tents and backdrops, dimensional signs, and letters to senior recognition, posters, and donor recognition displays, Chief Graphics delivers custom solutions that make an impact. Their high-quality designs not only enhance spaces, but also strengthen brand presence, boost visibility, and create a sense of pride among students, staff, and supporters. When it comes to branding, trust the experts at Chief Graphics to make a statement that lasts. Wantagh already finding an early 3-0 lead here, and that's just part of what makes their offense so dangerous. But two of those goals have come off of clear attempts by Port Washington.
That's what makes them tough, right? Wantagh, they're super skilled, but they're also super gritty and tough, right? That's the philosophy in Wantagh with Coach Polo. They're gonna fight to the very end. They're gonna score goals in many different ways. Such a self-motivated group, according to the coach.
Dylan Freeman will be now taking this faceoff for Port Washington, going up against Jake Harkin. Ball's loose. Freeman wins this one. If he can get the ground ball, it's loose. This one will go the way of Wantagh, though.
Yeah, possessions, right? You needed that first-time GB. Great faceoff win by him.
But Port Washington making this a tough clear. They managed to get the ball back. They're on the attack. McCarville with it. Gets knocked down, though. Still has the ball somehow. He gets rid of it. Over the lane. That's a shot and a goal. Will Amity with Port's first goal.
I've been around this game for a bunch of years now. I don't know if I've ever seen 4 out of the gate like this. Or the stands are shaking, right? Blows a tire, right? Taking whacks, 1 whack, 2 whack, 3 whack, 4, right? Gets up from his knees, right? Finds a wide open Amity. Unbelievable job. Good finish, but McCarville gets all the credit there. SUNY Maritime, right, getting a tough one. Amity, 15 goals last year, 26 for his career. None easier than that one.
So another faceoff is won by Port Washington. Griffin Marvin with that one. Now they'll have to clear from their defensive side.
Yeah, Marvin's dad was a really good player, All-American at Garden City. Went on to be a captain at Harvard. So tremendous Lax bloodline.
Showa passes this one off over to Amity. Take his man all the way behind X, and they'll start to work it around once more. 6:25 left to go here in the first. Up top with it, Jimmy Gannon making his return. Gets doubled, finds a man in the middle. It's a shot and a goal. This time, Brendan Lang fires away and scores.
First time Pizarro robbed one from the crease. This time the crease was wide open once again. Got to lock that down if you're Wantagh. Right, just like hoops, right? Jimmy Gannon, right, on the state finalist basketball team, Long Island champs, right? Finds Lang, future Mule from Muhlenberg. 3 points versus Islip, 3 goals and 2 on the year. Great find, way to catch the ball, come to it, and sling it off pipe.
After immediately going down 3-0, Port Washington managed to get 2 in the net. Now they're only down by 1. We're just about halfway here through the first quarter.
Yeah, the one thing, Wantagh lost the guys on the defensive end, right? It's to see them giving up some early shots is positive if you're...
And just like that, it's another goal. Griffin Marvin right off the face-off. He'll get it over to Tommy McCarville, who snipes that one from way downtown.
Yeah, he had the game winner versus Sayville. 4 goals right against Sayville. Pretty good move by Coach Levy, going put him up from the midfield, putting him on attack. Play the point. I see why. Slings it, top corner. Give credit to Marvin. Great face-off win. Port offense has it humming.
That timeout definitely came at a great time for Port Washington, down 3-0. Now we're tied at 3. Tommy McCarville, Coach Levy says he's their most dynamic player. He's proving why on that shot. Another face-off won, Griffin Marvin. Won that one as Owen Meyer will be taking this one down.
Yeah, that was a nice clean win by Marvin using his wings. Great job by two-way midi sophomore Owen Meyer getting himself out of some trouble.
And McCarville will pass this one off. Now up top with it. Here's number 16, Jacob Apat.
I think that's one thing Coach Levy said. We want energy, right? They definitely have it to start this game.
Tommy McCarville will fire away. This one goes wide, though.
Yeah, you see Wantagh goes a little zone there, right? Defensive coordinator Lenny Latouche, right? Sensing that maybe there's a little momentum and having some trouble guarding the inside. Let's go zone, and let's try to make them beat us from the outside.
30 seconds on the shot clock right now.
Yeah, it's like a 3-3 zone. Your two short sticks are up top.
Taking it from behind. Doesn't have much room to work with as he's smothered. He'll have to pass that one off. Amity. It's a shot and a miss. Nearing the goal right there. That was Amity on the shot, pardon me.
Yeah, I think you're okay with that if you're Wantagh. Let's keep the shots from the outside. We saw two inside looks on the crease, open against man. Go zone, see what they can do. See if they can handle it.
McCarville. Over to Liam McCarville. Back to Tommy McCarville. He goes straight to the net. He shoots. This one just wide as well, but the shot clock does go off. So we'll go the Warriors' way.
Yeah, so the zone, right, 1-0, right? The zone works. Two shots on the possession from the outside. I do like the way McCarville slings it, right? He's got that quick release, kind of three-quarter. Seems to have his eyes on that far pipe, smart shooting against the lefty.
Not afraid to fire away. That ball's knocked out of bounds. It'll go back the way of the Vikings. They'll get ready to clear this one. Line in up top over to Apat. Takes the sideline, beats one man, and he'll keep going.
Yeah, Apat, another player going to Muhlenberg. Had 2 goals against Islip, one of the game-winning assists as well. Really good player.
Now up top with it, Jimmy Gannon. Over to Apat. Apat wants to attack. Tries to dodge right, doesn't have it. Back up top to Gannon. He'll go to the other side now. Meyer with it. Pardon me, Liam McCarville.
So it looks like zone, right, but they didn't pass the cutter. They're carrying it. So they're carrying and replacing. So it's a zone, but...
That's nearly netted in right there. They've just been attacking the middle and been getting great looks all day long. Will Amity, though, just a little bit too wide. That's an immediate shot by Tommy McCarville. No good, though.
Yeah, so if I'm Pizarro, I'm like, one can sling it. Let's maybe get a little closer to him. He could be the one guy that could be the zone buster if Wantagh is going to continue to play that.
Or Washington will have to find a way around this zone defense. Tommy McCarville.
Yeah, 4th over is the 30. He's kind of the rover in the middle.
A shot and a save by Pizarro. Port Washington still have it, though. Loses the ball, but that's taken right back. Amity back up top, over to McCarville, back to Amity, behind the net. We'll slow things down for a bit here. And that's a mean double team right there as McCarville goes down. It's scooped back up, though. Harry Einan has it. Back up top. Amity over to Gannon.
Yeah, Tommy McCarville's all over the place.
And a little behind the back right there, trying to get a little bit showboaty with it. Goes over the net, though. I don't think Pizarro was ready for that one.
Yeah, but great job by him riding it back right off of that double team.
Now another, trying to find McCarville in the middle. That's a loose ball. Jimmy Gannon, though, unopposed. 20 seconds on the shot clock. Gannon has it. He'll need to attack. He passes this one off. They'll work it around. And McCarville over to Gannon. Gannon fires away over the net, though. Five seconds on the shot clock. Tries to find a pass immediately to the middle, but that's turned over. That's Forthifer with it.
Yeah, that was Harry Einan. He's been playing X for Port Washington, 22. He's trying to find his brother.
Now, trying to take it into the middle, but there's a whole swarm of Port Washington players on him. He still manages to keep it. Joe Nicholson showing some grit right there. Looks like a timeout will be taken here by Wantagh. They want to retain this possession.
Yeah, you saw a little bit there, right? Coach Levy loves the aggressive pulls that he has. You saw a little bit there.
While we have some time, parents, Varsity Media is now offering close-up video of just your athlete. This film pinpoints your son or daughter's play, helps them to improve throughout the season, and makes for better recruiting video. Included in our ISO video, we'll post highlights of your athlete on our social media with over 70,000 followers. Spots are limited, so reach out today. You could call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. You know, they say that games can be a tale of two halves, but this one feels like a tale of a half of a quarter. You know, early on, Wantagh immediately out onto a 3-0 lead, but Port Washington making some noise on the offensive end have really answered back, and now we're all knotted up at 3.
It starts with the face-off, right? They've been winning possessions. They've been valuing the ball, right? Even though they had a shot clock violation, they're running 60 seconds off of it. I'm not sure the timing, but it's probably been at least 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes since Wantagh saw the ball. And if you're Port Washington, that's a really good thing. And you saw a timeout, good timeout by Coach Polo. Let's settle, let's run our offense, maybe get this momentum back in our favor.
We'll have a chance with it now. Players get set. I think this one will be Matt Iacobello. Wantagh will get to working it around. 50 seconds on the shot clock for them. Behind with Luke Martini. Work this one around. Iacobello has it up top. Passes this one back. Dylan Martini with it. Passes it behind the net. Passione. Tries to find a defender, shoots. That's saved by Einen, though.
Tremendous save, Passione. That's his bread and butter, right? That ability to come, have that stick, have some eyes. Great save by Einen.
Flags fly as Einen is pushed, hit in the back. Wantagh again, just trying to ride, making it a tough time to clear the ball for Port Washington, but get a little bit too over-aggressive that time. Now they'll go a man down here. We'll get another look at this one.
Great stop, right, hunting the ball. Good GB by Jimmy Rather. Gives it to Einen, gets pushed in the back. Maybe Wantagh's a little mad. He's making a couple saves, right, find themselves in the box. But it was pretty good defense, right? You see Oren Shashoa, right, the junior, right, he's drawn the Passione matchup. Not sure how you sleep at night, right, knowing that you got to guard that jitterbug behind the net. But really good job, good save by Einen, draws a foul.
Passione very good at finding the open player. 8 assists on the season so far. Now Port Washington going a man up here. Final minute and a half of this quarter. Wantagh has really tried to clamp down the middle. It'll be even tougher to do so in this man-down situation. Tommy McCarville with it. Work it around, the man in the middle, Harry Einen. That's a shot, and it's off the post, goes out of bounds. Will stay Port Washington ball.
Yeah, you see APAT showing a little range. They ran a little carry. Liam McCarville carried, gave it to his brother Tommy, who found APAT. The iron, only thing that stopped that one.
That's a loose ball. Liam McCarville can't scoop it up. It's still loose. Wantagh's trying to get it, but another push. This balls and bodies are flying all over the place as Wantagh's the one who comes up with it.
Yeah, good ground ball. Chase Dannebrink, sophomore, all grown up now as a soph. Great ground ball. 4th for the sophomore as well. 2 talented guys down there. They're the men down there for Wantagh this year.
Now Wantagh have the ball, still a man down.
You know, Einen hasn't really been beat by a shot, right? He's gotten 3 ride backs, 1 empty net, 1 dunk. Everything else, he's been super locked in.
Carter Loftman tries to attack, passes this one off. They'll work it around. That's a shot by Iacobello. Goes beyond the net, though. Will stay Warrior ball.
You see the quickness, right? The ball is never in their sticks for very much time. Great job finding Iacobello with a skip look. Now
they have it. Martini shoots and scores. Wantagh go up by 1 with 5 seconds left to go in the first quarter.
You can't give these guys an inch. A little two-man type of game behind. Passione finds Luke Martini. That's a hat trick for the young buck. You see that little swim, throwback, extra step to greatness, buries it. Not much room there, right? Einan was there, but Martini has a knack. Luke has a knack to score G's. And, you see that quick release and that ability to take the extra step.
That's his 10th goal on the year thus far in just game number 3. So now we got 5.5 seconds left on the clock.
Interesting, right? You have a pole for Wantagh taking the face-off. I think it's Patrick fourth over.
That will be picked up by Port Washington, but the shot won't go off, and that'll be the end of the first quarter. And Wantagh up 4-3. It's been a very close one so far.
Yeah, a little swim, throwback. Cash money, right? Luke Martini, top 100. Give him a hat trick for the first quarter.
We're going to take a step to the side, but don't go anywhere. You're watching this edition of the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High school sports fans, Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For the latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Welcome back here in Port Washington at Paul D. Schreiber High School, where battle of the undefeated, it's Wantagh who have a 1-goal lead going into the second quarter over Port Washington.
Look at that shot from up top. Well done to our camera crew. Getting a little skyline as it sunsets here in PW.
It's a really beautiful evening for lacrosse as well. When this game started, it was nearly 70 degrees. Can't ask for anything better. Friday night, under the lights.
Guys, and he went to school for this.
Get ready for this face-off.
Yeah, so you see, when in doubt, put your best athlete at the X, right? Dylan Martini, he's faced off this year and last year a bit. He's at the X right now. He'll be going against Dylan Freeman. So far, the face-off edge has been Port Washington advantage.
And almost stayed Port Washington way, but Martini ends up getting that back. It's a fast break. Scoops this one off, though. They won't be able to get anything out of it, but they'll bring it back out and have the first possession of the second.
Just an athlete, right? Just an athlete, right? Lost the face-off, but won the ball. Probably will go get another stick.
So that's a quick pass to the man trailing. Pass over the middle. Martini tries to go for 4. Gets knocked down, though. It's a loose ball up in the air. Team's fighting for it. Comes up Wantagh's way. It's a no-look pass. Goes right into a Port Washington player, though, as that one's loose again. Wantagh still maintaining. Joe Nicholson trying to find an open man. Manages to get it over to Passione. Back up top to Nicholson. After a whole slew of chaos, Wantagh slow it down.
Yeah, you're out of breath. That was crazy. Got his stick, right? Dylan Martini, right? Tosses that face-off stick aside. Get the wand that scores G's.
Now Loftman will try to attack. Manages to get by 2 defenders. The underhand shot goes in top right. That's his first of the evening, and now Wantagh back with a 2-goal lead.
6'3", but slick, right? Every time you see him, he shows something different, right? Gets to the middle. He's going to get shorties for days, right? Goes hard. little toe drag. Unbelievable shot, beats him far side. Future Great Dane at Albany. He can shoot it, right? But let's see, adding that to his repertoire. Great goal, Carter Loffman.
Second goal for him on the year.
Yeah, honorable mention All County last year. Just wasn't enough spots, right, for all the Warriors to get awards. But, you know.
Trying to get an award this year, though, and I feel like he's got a pretty good shot.
Yeah, he's legit.
Port Washington coming up with that one. I believe that was Griffin Marvin at the face-off. Now carrying this one up for them as Behan. Pass it all the way back to X. Will Amity with it.
Yeah, Behan All County last year. Really good in the clear game, 6'2", guarded everyone's best player last year. O'Keefe, Rayo, right, he played Hills, right. He'll play anybody.
Port Washington with it. Have it on the far side, take it back to X. Looking to attack now. Up top with it is APAT. Pardon me, Amity. Amity over to Tommy McCarville. Dodges but passes it out. Back to McCarville. Wanted to shoot, didn't have any room though. Pass it back over to Lang. Lang attacks. Gets pushed behind the net though, 12 on the shot clock.
Yeah.
Amity shoots. Nearly gets it past the goalkeeper. But a save by Pissarro there.
Yeah, perfect shot, put it on net, rebound, right, resets the clock.
Now that pass just goes all the way past midfield. Players fighting for it. Whistle is blown. That will stay Wantagh ball.
Yeah, quick restart. That's scary.
Now Passion with it. Trying to attack the cage. Spins back out though. And they'll make their substitution. Passion though.
Yeah, a lot of coaches will yell red or yellow. I'm not sure that Wantagh has those red or yellows. I think they're all green all the time.
Always green when your offense is this potent, and you could see why right there. Dylan Martini with the goal this time.
The kid does it all, right? Comes screaming out of the box, right? Shows off that speed. Passione's patient with the ball, eating checks, just waiting for his man 2-2 to get on the field, come out of the box, hair's on fire, right? Get underneath, unleash the beast. Far corner, great shot, great athlete, wearing the 2-2 for Wantagh. That's a big deal in honor of Scott DeVerna, kind of the heart and soul of this Wantagh program, that 2-2 number.
Now Wantagh have another 3-goal lead. The last time they were up 3, Port Washington was able to answer back to tie it up at 3. Griffin Marvin wins another faceoff for Port, but loses his footing, gets knocked to the ground. Now Wantagh have it. Johnny Gendels finds the trailing man, a shot to Harkin, but a little bit over the net. Will stay Wantagh possession.
Yeah, so Johnny Gendels, right, senior D mid, real GB hog. This is the weather the storm moment that Coach Levy talked about. 3-goal lead, starting to feel themselves. Got to get some stops.
Jacobello has it. Instead, he'll go up top with it. Loffman with it again. Goes far side. Looking to shoot. He'll fire away. A little bit too wide, though.
That's what makes them so tough. You have really good dodgers, but you're so afraid of the Martinis, especially when they're inside, because they can catch everything and score from crazy angles. Do you slide or not slide?
Passion going out with a sprint right to the net. Goes behind it, though. That's picked up by Einan, who clears this one. It is a loose ball. The pass was incomplete as Forthifer picks up background ball for Wantagh, spins, makes a little bit of room for himself, passes it over. Jacobello with it now. They'll slow it down once more.
Yeah, outlet pass, dropped by Restivo, number 24. Gives the Wantagh Warriors another possession.
Now Martini with it over on the far side. That is Dylan Martini. Up 3 right now, 40 on the shot clock. Opsy wants to go and attack, guarded by Behan. Almost beats him. Not a lot of room to work with, but manages to get in front of him. Bounce shot and goal for his second.
I mean, you think you got him locked down, and he's slippery, he's quick. You see why he won the Thorpe, right? His ability to kind of maneuver in and out. He's eaten checks by one of the best defenders in League One. No slide coming, right? Put Behan on an island. Gets underneath, protects his stick, goes lefty, buries the ball. He's just a tremendous, tremendous player. 121 career goals now for the future Golden Knight.
Wantagh's weapons have just been firing off all night. The Martini brothers, 5 goals apiece of Wantagh's 7 total thus far. That ball's get ready for the faceoff. It's a loose ball. This one taken away by Port Washington.
Great ground ball. Evan Freeman, Ogino gets it to Oren Shashoa.
Shaw will take this past midfield. So it's a successful clear, and Port Washington are looking to answer. Back on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, you need a goal really badly if you're Port Washington. You know, that it's in your mind now. Are they man? Are they zone, right? What can we run?
Now up top, Jacob Apat. Back over to Tommy McCarville.
Looks like Wantagh now is a man-to-man.
Port Washington's going to have to try to look for that middle again. That worked so well for them in the first. As Liam McCarville gets pushed away. Still have the ball, though. Top with it, Brandon Lang. Fires away, but it goes off of his defender. The ball's up high. That's scooped up.
Yeah, they don't just score goals, right? Luke Martini's on the defensive end right now.
McCarville shoots, and that's saved by Pissarro. What a play right there.
Yeah, McCarville again having success getting to his right hand.
And finds it cutting McCarville, but he can't hold on to it. It's a loose ball on the ground right now. Players finally found it. Whistle is blown, and this will be going the way of Wantagh.
Yeah, that shot by McCarville must have got deflected and not gotten to Pissarro. The scrap leads to a shot clock violation.
Now Martini will start with this one. Takes it past midfield.
You know, the thing is, like, you look at Wantagh, they only have 24 kids on the roster, right? So you have your guys, so you see the Martinis, right? You see, you know, two-way midfielders, right? So it's like a powerhouse, but not your traditional sense where you have 35 guys out there. And you saw Luke Martini with a great job on defense, right, eating some shots.
Now Dylan Martini will attack. Shoots. That one's saved, though, by Einen.
Yeah, good job. Again, catching it, pitching it out.
Gives it over to Behan. Takes it past midfield. Got 2 defenders on his tail, though. Takes it back behind the cage.
Yeah, he had 4 goals last year, right? He's not afraid to go to the hoop.
He'll pass this one off. Port Washington now will get another crack at it. Jimmy Gannon with it up top. Over to Tommy McCarville. Gets guarded closely by Forthifer. Tries to go to his left hand. Flag is thrown. He'll surely take his time here. The spin knocks his defender down. He shoots, but that's saved by Pissarro. However, it will be Port Washington ball, and they'll go man up once more.
Yeah, to steal some of Dylan's lines, right? A little shimmy, a little shake, right, by Tommy McCarville. Gets a little check in the dome coming up, right? Stick gets a little high, boop, right in the head. Flag goes down. Does a little dancing, gets to the cage and forces Pissarro to make a really, really good save. Probably his 5th on the evening.
Port Washington will go up, man up again. Second time in this one. Coming out onto the field for them. Here's this man up opportunity.
Yeah, so find number 1, right, as a carry. Einen carries to McCarville. Great stop by Pissarro.
Nearly scores again. Tommy McCarville.
He's really good at getting that leverage, right? He kind of drops his stick. His shoulder's tough. His ability to get to the middle, been very impressed so far with him. SUNY Maritime's getting a really good player.
Now Wantagh looking to clear this one. Still a man down. Looks like they won't have much issues. Luke Perfetti passes this one off. Giacobello has it. This will go back the way of Port Washington.
Yeah, Freeman Ogino, great check.
Now they'll go back on the attack. Carrying it up, Apat with it. Passes this one off, Tommy McCarville. Wants to try to attack, but gets collapsed on. Passes this one away. Back up top, Brendan Lang with it now. Gives it over to Liam McCarville.
Now we're even, right, man? Good kill by Wantagh.
Will stave off the penalty, but Port Washington still has it. That's a shot and another save by Pissarro. That one scooped up. Oh, another save. He knocks that one away, denies. Liam McCarville a goal.
He's fired up by Pissarro, right? Stay hot, young man.
Wantagh on the fast break. That's a shot, but a little bit too wide on the near side. Will still be Warrior ball. It's Johnny Gendels. Couldn't finish that one.
Yeah, Pissarro, right, replacing Kyle Conklin, 398 career saves. Not an easy task, but 109 career saves coming into the season by Pissarro. Been very impressed with him so far in the last, 1 3/4 games. He's been great.
And a real wall up there for Wantagh. McLaughlin attacks. Blocked away, but Giacobello still has it. Passes this one off.
Yeah, perhaps that was knocked down by Jimmy Rather.
Martini, over to Martini, and the brotherly connection serves them well as they get another goal.
Yeah, a little brotherly love. I'm sure they've worked on that a couple of times in the backyard. Just a tremendous look to find on the backside.
Get another look at this one. Luke Martini managing to find it was the other way around. Dylan Martini finds Luke over the middle. Nice little garbage dump goal right there.
Yeah, that's 4 goals now for Luke Martini.
Now we'll get back to the face-off. Wantagh find themselves up 5. Port Washington haven't scored yet this quarter, but this face-off is won by the Vikings.
Yeah, good job. Freeman wins that one clean.
They'll immediately attack to take it behind the net. To go to their go-to man, Tommy McCarville. They pass it back to Will Amity.
That's the hardest thing about when you're defending Wantagh. It's like you don't want to slide, but they beat people. And then you got guys with tremendous hands open for catches and dunks.
Now a timeout will be taken here by Port Washington to look to try to stop this 5-0 run. We'll take a look at our upcoming SPORTSCAST schedule. On the 8th, it is Syosset traveling over to Cold Spring Harbor on the 8th. Also, Roslyn taking on Bethpage. On the 11th, Massapequa will travel to Cold Spring Harbor, and the very next day, on the 12th, Darien travel to Manhasset to take them on. On the 15th, Syosset will make the trip over to Manhasset to wrap it up. Girls Lacrosse, Fairport, making their way to Cold Spring Harbor for a 1 p.m. showdown.
Yeah, the action's getting hot and heavy in Nassau. Right, you're starting to see a lot of those, non-conference games turning into some conference games. A little different this year with the League 1, League 2, League 3, but when we get to the playoffs, we'll go back to our respected conferences.
And lacrosse is that one sport where I feel like once you get into games, all of a sudden it ends in the blink of an eye.
Yeah, the season it's shortened, right? So we used to start, I coached at Oyster Bay for a bunch of years. We used to start like the first week in March. Now it's like the third week in March. And now it's forcing you to play games over Easter break and spring break, and it gets difficult, right? Some of these teams are going to play 3 games a week. And when you're playing teams in League 1 that you go from Manhasset to play Garden City to play Wantagh, right, you better have some depth and a really good trainer on staff.
Port Washington getting ready for this offensive possession. Down 8-3. 5 unanswered.
So when you're in that huddle for Coach Levy, it's like, all right, what are they going to play? Man, zone. If they go man, we go this way. If they go zone, this way. And it just takes some time, right? It takes time for you to see what they're in.
Now we'll work it around.
This is zone.
Jimmy Gannon with it up top. Back over to Tommy McCarville. Goes up the near side. Gets pushed back, though, up top. Trying to get some quick passes. Trying to go to the middle, but that one's stolen away.
Yeah, you see what Johnny Gendels can do. He was kind of the rover, the man in the middle of the zone with a short stick. Doesn't matter. Kind of the senior, kind of that one kid coming back in the defensive end. that brings the stability and toughness that is needed, right, to bring some of these younger guys along.
Now, Joe Nicholson will have this one for Wantagh. 2 minutes to go, 45 on the shot clock. They're up by 5, and they're looking to extend it. Nicholson will take this one behind the net. He'll really slow down the tempo here. He'll make his move now. Goes up to the near side, up top. Giacobello over to the far side for Martini. Pardon me.
Looks like a little zone coming in here for Port.
Trying to get a feel for it.
I love it, a chess match.
Loftman has it. He shoots with that save by Einen.
Yeah, like sometimes as a goalie, right, you get hit. You're like, thank you, right? Got hit in the leg there. Nice save. Much needed. The last thing you want is a 9-3 game.
And that ball stripped loose. Ref blows the whistle, though. Looks like a little bit of a push from behind. It'll stay Port Washington ball.
Yeah, so first thing you got to do for Port is clear it. Easier said than done.
This Wantagh team's just shown absolute aggression today.
Yeah, so I think if you're Port here, you want to use, they just turned the 60 off. I think you want the last shot. I don't think you want Black to touch the ball again. You're very happy if you go in 8-4. Definitely don't want 9-3.
Whole another half left to play, but 45 seconds left in this one. Apat with it up top. Getting guarded closely, you go to the far side, beats his defender, he fires away. That one's knocked away by Pissarro, though.
Big ground ball here.
Harry Einen able to knock that one away. Let's Amity pick it up.
Good job, right? That's a little, you learned that in PAL, little man ball.
Now Apat with it. It's a loose ball. Liam McCarville fires away. That one goes wide, though. 14 on the clock.
Yeah, 13 seconds. Did you leave a little bit too much time? That's the question.
10 seconds to go. Looks like Pissarro's just going to fire this one all the way down the field. That one's picked up by Martini. 4 seconds on the clock. Passes this one off. Nichols with it. Shoots over the net as that ends the first half of play. Wantagh still up by 5, 8-3 against Port Washington. Not allowing a single goal in this half. Wantagh managed to hold strong as Pissarro's been an absolute wall for them in the net.
There's one. Here comes another. Boom, right? He's saying 3 for $1. Right, Gianni Pizarro standing on his head for the Warriors. 8-3 lead.
Current Wantagh has the lead. We take a step to the side for this half, but don't go anywhere. You're watching this game on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net. Hey parents, Varsity Media is now offering ISO video of just your athlete. Why settle for the wide angle that shows every player on the field? With our ISO video, your athlete is front and center the entire game. This footage will help in creating highlight videos for college coaches to better pinpoint your athlete's play on the field. Watching our video will help your athlete improve progressively throughout the season and may lead to a college scholarship. Varsity Media is now booking ISO videos for the spring, but spots are limited. Contact us today for lacrosse, baseball, softball, and tennis by calling 516-403-2050 or emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
High high school sports fans. Varsity Media is the exclusive live stream partner of Nassau County Championships. To live stream fall, winter, and spring championship events, head to varsitymediapass.com to order. Now accessible on smart TVs. Varsity Media is your home for the Nassau County Championships. For all the latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
He's got room to go. Merrill towards the end zone. Lost his lid. Touchdown!
JJ Damo, face on, stay on athlete. Controlling the face-off X 3 in a row now.
You're watching Varsity Media, New York's high school sports network. Varsity Media is now opening up our schedule to any team looking to be on a sportscast. Watching yourself on camera is okay, but hearing your name on a Varsity Media sportscast is like you're a pro.
And look at this opportunity. Feldman behind. Jersey pulled. Feldman! Feldman!
The loose ball, Keyshawn White has it. He's just going to let it fly. Oh! Keyshawn White from half court. That is cash. What a way to end the third quarter.
Look at this. Merrill. No slide. No problem. Gary Merrill goes top corner.
Varsity Media offers sports coverage for any sport, and our coverage airs live and on demand so everyone can watch the game. Now is the time to be a star on Varsity Media. Contact us to book a sportscast today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
It's time to book a Varsity Media Sportscast and get on the big stage. A Varsity Media Sportscast is seen by thousands of people, both live and on demand, from friends and family all over the world to prospective college coaches. Our announcers will help tell the story of your team and your athletes. There is no bigger stage to be on than Varsity Media. Book a sportscast today by contacting Varsity Media.
Welcome back here at Paul D. Schreiber High School, where the Wantagh Warriors currently lead 8-3 against Port Washington. But Port Washington's lacrosse wouldn't really be possible without the youth that really bring it up, and it's all thanks to one man, Harvey Cohen.
Yeah, Harvey Cohen, right, absolute legend. I mean, we'd be remiss if we in Port Washington talk lacrosse without mentioning Harvey, right, founder of the PYA, the Port Youth Activities, really bringing lacrosse sticks in so many hands of youngsters. North Hempstead Lacrosse Club, Harvey's Lacrosse Club, right, lawyer, lacrosse lover. There's a Long Island Metro Lacrosse Association has the Harvey Cohen Service Award, and now we have a tremendous youth tournament that's been going on for a few years, started by some of the parents of these kids that are playing today. I saw McCarville and a couple of names right associated with it. Right, I was lucky enough to play for Harvey for North Hempstead as a goalie, and when you talk loving lacrosse and loving what it brings to a community, right, Harvey's the man. So shout out to Harvey, rest in peace, my man, and your legacy is strong here in Port Washington.
And speaking of the youth here at Port Washington, it's really interesting because when we spoke with Coach Levy earlier in the week, he said he was this close to retiring, but one of the things that really intrigued him about Port Washington was their pipeline for their youth, knowing the athletes that they produce that get here to the high school level, and they already play at such a high level.
Yeah, Port Washington, right, they're a strong program. It had some great coaches in the past, right, Tom Rooney, right, Isaac Neal, right, did a tremendous job with Port Washington. And now Glenn Levy, right, who's a coach, right? He's coached lacrosse. He's been Coach of the Year for lacrosse at Harborfields. He's coached basketball, girls basketball at Comac, Herrick's, Harborfield. He's built championships, right? First year it's a little tough, right? You're taking the keys over, but so far so good. But Port Washington, go back to Kenny Case, right, the legend on the sidelines of Port Washington. They've had a lot of really great lacrosse coaches at Port Washington, and they're hoping that Levy can kind of bridge that gap between the youth and the high school program.
Now we're just moments away from the opening face-off here to kick off the second half, where Wantagh lead 8-3. And, as we said before going into this game, their offense was going to be potent. But what's really, really been a nice surprise, I say nice surprise, but a bit more I wasn't really expecting, was Pissaro's play in the net, not allowing a single goal in that second quarter.
Yeah, he's really strong, right? He might be like kind of the first-year guy, but he's had 3 years of varsity experience. This is his turn, right? He plays in the summer, high-level travel lacrosse. He was co-MVP in the Rising Junior game, 9-5 win for the Rising Juniors versus Suffolk. He's committed to D1, right? Chris Ryan's getting a good one in Pizarro, and I think he's been really, really good putting the county on notice.
I'll get ready for this opening face-off. Port Washington has really dominated the face-offs today, and that's something that they need to keep up if they want to try to get back into this one. Down 5 right now as Marvin almost comes up with it, but instead it will be Dylan Martini behind the back pass.
I mean, come on. The skills he has is ridiculous. That was just so slick, scooping a GB. Losing another face-off, right? Marvin beat him clean, but that kid does not quit.
Doesn't quit, and he's smooth as butter when it comes to getting the ball in his hands.
What I love about Wantagh, it's like you scout them, you know the 6, and the 6 just keep going out there, right? There's rarely a number that you're not used to because these kids play so well together.
Played together for so long as well. Coach Polo, just every single day, he's thankful to have this team, how hard they work, how hard they come out to practice. You can see on the field that it all pays off as that shot goes wide. Still, Port Washington will get the ball now.
So I texted Coach Polo after the East Islip win, and he's just, the one thing he says, it's all about the kids. He goes, I am so blessed to be able to coach these guys.
That ball's taken away. Martini with it. Gives it over to Passion, behind the back pass for Martini, and that's a goal! What a play all around by Wantagh. The fearsome 6 right there, making another goal, first one of the half.
Standing ovation in the booth right here. It starts with a ride, right? You have Dylan Martini starts with the ride, gives it to Passione. Whoop! Behind the back to Luke Martini, tic-tac-toe, but with a little razzle-dazzle. You saw Dylan Martini go with behind the back, and Passione says, I could do that too. Right, whoop, right vision behind his back. Sick finish against a great goalie, but it starts with the ride. Dylan Martini gets it on the turf, and then it was off to the races.
You know, it's tough to be going up against these Wantagh against this Griffin Marvin. Able to win that faceoff for the Vikings. You know that they're going to bring their offense every single day. It's just a matter of when are they going to score, and sometimes you just got to tip your hat to them.
Yeah, I mean that's 3 high-level Division I players, right? There's no doubt, right, that Luke Martini is going to play at a high level. So you put those 3 guys in a triangle, and good luck.
And McCarville guarded closely, passes this one off. Get it back to Liam up top.
Yeah, we see PJ Falco out there, number 2. That crease was open again.
It's a loose ball, picked up, shot, but saved by Pissarro, knocks it away, picked up by Lang, though.
I mean, check behind him. Is there a piece of glass or something? Pissarro's just keeping everything out of the net. Little kick save and a beaut.
A quick pass, a quick shot, but another save by Pissarro. This man is just an iron wall. You can't get past him.
Yeah, it was a nice ride by Harry Iden, right? Got a wide open look, and somehow Pissarro kept it out of the net. Port Washington's been stuck on 3 for quite a long time.
On fire in the net, and their offense has made the most of these stops. Already up 6, looking to tack on another.
Yeah, I mean, you see 3 on the scoreboard, and you're like, wow, they must be dominating on defense. They've been getting plenty of looks. Pissarro's just been up to the task.
Loftman has it. Goes to the near side, spins.
Looks like zone now from Port.
They'll attack again. Martini with it. Goes behind the net, wants to come up to the near side, trying to find a teammate. Opts to shoot, but Einen blocks that one and saves it.
Yeah, good defense by Behan.
Big hit right there from Loftman to Behan, knocks the ball loose, and Wantagh get it back.
Yeah, good defense to kind of force the inside roll from a tough angle. Great explosive save by Max. Leaping tall there to deny Martini.
Now Martini has it. Luke Martini up top. They'll pass this one around. On the far side, Matt Giacobello has it. Wants to attack to the near side.
Again, real tight, kind of a zone. You have, Behan kind of hunting in the middle. He's not afraid to jump on a matchup.
Loftman shoots, but that one's saved by Einen, but that one nearly goes in. I don't think anyone was expecting it. Just goes over the net, though. Port Washington get it back.
Yeah, every loose ball is just scary around the crease, right? Whether it's a hockey shot, behind the back, shovel, Wantagh can do it all. But Iden's been really good, right? There's 9 on the board, but he's been tremendous. And when you talk about the legacy of Port Washington, they've had some good goalies. This kid's fixing to be one of the best.
That one's knocked loose. Again, a shot from Luke Martini saved. Dylan Martini.
Yeah, great save. Like I was saying, right, they've only had 1 goalie All-American in Port history, Pat Doyle. Other good ones. Nicky Ferraro was a great one. Steve Kusa went to UMBC. But this sophomore is really, really good.
Amity with it now for the Vikings. They'll work this one around. Tommy McCarville over to brother Liam. Bring on another player. That's Brendan Lang trailing in. Down 6 right now. A lot of game left, though. That pass is loose. Tommy McCarville scoops it up, though. Wants to go near side. Fires away. Just wide, though.
Yeah, number 1's not afraid to shoot, right? He's not allowed to let it rip, right? Dynamic. You see him kind of bounce around, right? He dodges from different spots. Great versatility from him.
And McCarville with it up top. Back over to Amity. Trying to get past the defender. Not allowed any room, though. Passes it behind. Einen with it. Harry Einen loses the ball. That's scooped up, though. Shot nearly scored, but saved again. Another shot. This one Bit too near side.
Yeah, that was another crease feed, right? Brendan Lang's like, what do we have to do to score? That one Pizarro didn't get. The pipe got it, the crossbar, but there's definitely a lid, right? You got to break the seal if you're Port Washington. Got it locked down like a Ziploc.
Their first 3 goals, they really took advantage of finding ways to get it into the middle. They've been doing so again, but this time Pizarro's just been denying every single attempt. Another one in the middle. That one goes a little bit too far. Picked up by Amity, though. Back up top to McCarville.
See kind of a zone look again by Wantagh. Looks like they flipped to a man.
Carville will take it to the near side, attack straight to the goal, shoots, but that's safe by Pizarro.
Yeah, forget about it. Caution flammable. He's on fire right now, but great defense by Nicholson, right, forcing a low-angle shot, leads to a clean save and an outlet.
Joe Nicholson will carry this one all the way down, and he'll bring it back out and slow it down. They'll take their time here with this one, 50 on the shot clock. Rolls this one away over to Luke Martini.
You know, so you look at the first game, right? So, you know, guys check scores all the time. They've played Kellenberg the first game. You see 18-12. It was 9-8 at halftime. You start to think defensively, goalie, you know, what's going on. But, I mean, the last 7 quarters, right, by Pizarro, right, erases any doubt that he's the guy for Wantagh. And, you know, not only the guy, but real good.
Finding a stride early on in the season as well. Bolstering that confidence as that one's knocked away. Gino Friedman on that one.
Yeah,
still fighting for it. That will stay Wantagh ball, though.
Yeah, great check by him. He's made 3 or 4 really, you know, eye-popping plays. Friedman Ogino, right, senior.
Now Nichols with it, passes it over to the middle, trying to find Loftman. Loose ball scooped up. Looks like it hit off the back of the net. Hyden able to get that one, and Port Washington looked to clear. Gannon over the middle, finds his man. That's a shot fired, and a shot scored! After going scoreless in the second, they managed to find their first in quite some time, thanks to Jacob Apat.
Yeah, it's going to take something a little wacky, right? A little deflection. Was not clean. Watch this one. Apat does a little stick fake. I'm going to take this. Hits somebody's stick, right? Does a little reverse action to the top corner. Doesn't matter. It's a goal, a much-needed one. He kind of shakes his shoulders there, says, hey, right, when you go on BLAX 8 or in Newsday, right, it's going to say a goal. Doesn't matter if it's up a 90 or a deflection. 9-4.
Just needed to prove that they can score on Pizarro. Trying to bring him back down to earth as this faceoff goes underway. Parkin and Freeman added. This one scooped up, though, by Wantagh.
Great scoop by P.J. Falco. Looked up on the roster. Pasquale Falco. Love it.
Passion tries to shoot, goes wide, though.
Yeah, good defense, right? I'm really impressed with Shishoa, right? It shows really good versatility being able to guard Passione, especially at GLE.
Wantagh still with the ball, 46 on the shot clock. Have it behind the cage. Dylan Martini with it. And now Port Washington have it. Carried it over, Behan, over to Amity. Amity takes it behind that X. Back over to Behan. We'll just pass this one off. With it now, Dom Forgione. Checking into the game for the Vikings. Starting to get some new looks out here. Rowan Meyer now. Meyer looking to attack, gets doubled. Goes back out. Guarded very closely, finally gets rid of it. Forgione with it. Back over to Amity, who shoots, but again, can't get it quite past the goal line. Pizarro lost it for a moment right under him, though.
Yeah, 2-7, right? Not only does he look good in those sweats, right? Black and gold, right? Making stops. Unbelievable job. Look good, play good.
Now Wantagh with it. Nichols has it. Nicholson, pardon me. Giacobello with it. Looks like they're getting offensive personnel out there as Luke Martini with it. Has it up top. Slowing it down, 35 on the shot clock, plenty of time. Just 3 minutes away from the final quarter of play. Martini opts to attack. That's a shot and a goal. Martini able to find Giacobello for the score, and Wantagh go back up 6.
Yeah, Giacobello, kind of the lefty hanging out, playing with a little chip on his shoulder this year. Great find, great skip. Can't leave that lefty wide open, right? He knows how to can the rock.
Expertly thrown pass too, so quick. I don't even think Port Washington had enough time to react to it. I don't really think they were expecting it.
Yeah, two goals by Giacobello versus East Islip. He showed his ability to stretch it with some long-range shots, 2 and 3 this year. 9 goals, 3 assists last year. Looking to have a huge junior season.
It was a little bit early there, so Wantagh will get the ball back. Dylan Martini with it now. Passes it over to Loftman. They bring on another man. Don't quite get it to him, though. So now they'll slow it down once more. Joe Nicholson with it. Goes over to the far side, wants to attack. Brings it back up top, though. Loftman looking to fire. Pumps, passes. Loose ball picked up by Port.
Yeah, tried to force it inside to the crease to Giacobello.
This will be cleared. Jacob Apat with it now. Over to Amity. Back behind the net for Lang. We're working around once up top with it now. Tommy McCarville. Looking to attack now. Amity with it. Goes over to his outside shoulder. Has nothing though. Lang now wants to attack. Trying to look for someone over the middle. Wantagh shutting it all down. 30 on the shot clock. Carville finds Lang, but he goes over the net. I don't think you could get a better look than that.
Yeah, great vision, great find by McCarville. Tommy Lang hit the pipe last time, right, a little bit over. That's what happens when you have a hot goal. You try to be perfect.
It's tough to be perfect against someone who's really stepped up his game today. McCarville fires away, but Pissarro able to knock it away.
Yeah, Port went to that 1-4 look against the tight zone and just didn't have any backup on that McCarville shot.
So now Wantagh will look to clear this one. Give it over to Pissarro. Slowly work it up. Goes all the way across the field for Loftman. Has it on the near side. It's guarded closely by Jacob Apat. Loftman, though, will slow it down. And he'll pass this one away over to Dylan Martini. No shot clock, just 20 seconds on the clock. Martini going up near side. 13 to go. It's a little bit of a pick. Spins, trying to make some room behind the back pass. Loose ball, though. It's picked up. No, it's not. Martini can't hold on to it. Whoa. Loose ball now. Huge hit right there as a flag flies. And that's the end of the quarter. Looks like Port Washington will start up a man up coming into the fourth quarter. We'll get another look at this one.
Yeah, Dylan Martini plays a little safety for the football team. Whoop. Little high, hands go up a little bit high. That's going to draw a flag every single time.
Not afraid to show aggression as Wantagh still hold a 6-goal lead. They're up over Port Washington 10-4. Don't go anywhere. We still got one more quarter left to go here on the Varsity Media Sportscast Network.
Latest news in high school sports, be sure to check out varsitymedia.net or follow us on social media at Varsity Media.
Parents, your support means everything to your athletes and to us at Varsity Media. To help us continue bringing you the best YouTube coverage of high school sports on Long Island, we invite business owners to consider a sponsorship on our broadcasts. If you own a business, consider a sponsorship for your athlete's team. It's a great way to show support, gain visibility, and keep the coverage going strong. Join us in making a difference. Contact Varsity Media today to learn more about broadcast sponsorship opportunities by emailing ben@varsitymedia.net.
This game wouldn't be possible without our sponsor, Chief Graphics. Chief Graphics specializes in custom graphics and signs, helping schools, businesses, and organizations bring their vision to life. Their expert team manages every step of the process, from design and fabrication to seamless installation, making them a one-stop shop for all graphic needs. From retail signage, wall and floor wraps, vehicle graphics, wayfinding signage, Chief Graphics delivers custom solutions that make an impact. Their high-quality designs not only enhance spaces, but also strengthen brand presence, boost visibility, and create visual interest. When it comes to branding, trust the experts at Chief Graphics to make a statement that lasts. This beautiful evening here. One more quarter left between Port Washington and Wantagh, where the Warriors lead the Vikings 10-4. And again, this Wantagh offense has been firing off on all cylinders. And Pissarro in net for Wantagh. It's been making a statement.
Both goalies have been tremendous, right? You're talking about a 10-4 scoreboard. This game could easily be 15-10, 15-11 with the high-quality looks that both teams have had offensively. Right, I think there's like an open spot, right? Who wants to be Nassau County Goalie of the Year, right? There's a vacant spot open. I don't care if you're a junior in Pissarro, if you're a sophomore in Einan, right? The trophy's there, right? Go get it.
Port Washington will start this quarter off a man up as they look to try to claw back into this one with only 12 minutes left to go. Tommy McCarville has it.
They're really impressed with Marvin, the ability to win clean draws. That one's important, right? Yes, you have a less guy there, but it doesn't mean you're going to win it. Big-time stuff by him.
You know, Coach Levy gives a lot of credit to that over to one of assistant coaches, Stephen Betch. He's a Fogo over at Springfield, also graduated from Port Washington, and he's been a big factor to help these face-off guys get so dominant in the face-off draw. So that one's saved by Pissarro once again. Port Washington still have it.
It's a beach ball right now.
Einan behind the back shot. That one goes wide though.
In the zone. 2-7.
Port Washington still have it. Still a man up. Up top with it, Liam McCarville. Over to Tommy, back to Liam. Find an open man, passes this one away. Einan is in the middle. They give it over to him, but he gets clamped on by two defenders. It's a loose ball and picked up. Wantagh come away with that one. It's deflected. No, Einan has it. Fake high, shoot high. That's a goal for Port Washington.
We've seen a lot of those, right? We've seen a lot of those going the other way, right? Now Einan gets to return the favor on Pissarro. Great knockdown by Gendels, right? Doesn't matter with him. Long stick, short stick, he's playing huge, right? Whoop, 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 boom, right? Gets him down, couple of fakes, puts it in the top. That's a big-looking sophomore, Harry Einan. He's scored in every game so far, right? That streak continues.
8 goals on the year for him so far. Coming into this one, I should say. Tacks on another there. Brings this game within 5.
Yeah, 10-5, right? It's not out of the realm of possibility if you can get, the next goal's huge. 10-6 is a lot different than 11-5. So it looks like it was an unreleasable foul, right? You still have a man up.
Marvin wins a faceoff again for Port. McCarville passes this one off back to Einan.
So that hit that we saw at the end of the quarter by Dylan Martini was a non-releasable, which means Port can score multiple times before the foul releases.
They'll have to try to make the most of it as they still find themselves down 5. Iden passes it over. Again into the middle for Liam McCarville. That one goes wide, though. Looks like they'll award the ball back to Port.
Yeah, they love feeding that crease. Nice quick release by Liam McCarville.
Now up top, over to the far side, they continue to work it around, trying to find a way to get into the middle.
Yeah, 2-2's open in the middle, right? Harry.
That's a shot by Tommy McCarville, goes way over the head of the goalie, though. They get the ball back. Take it from behind the net. Looks like they're getting ready to bring it back, their man, to even the numbers. Just loose ball right now. Both players fighting for it, but it's Wantagh who comes up with a big hit, though, from Tommy McCarville. Whistle blows, still goes the way of Wantagh.
Good, I think it might have been a timeout. Good ground ball by the sophomore Jack Lee. Very good, kill.
They call the timeout. We'll get a look at Wantagh's upcoming schedule. As we said before, the season flies by so fast. You'll be playing 2-3 games a week once they finally get it going. Undefeated so far in the year, looking to go 3-0 for the Warriors. And their next outing, they go back home and they'll take on Garden City on the 11th. But the very next day, they'll be playing Ridgefield, Connecticut on the 12th. 3 days after that, on the 15th, they take on Massapequa, and they'll come back home for Combs. Wantagh again.
Right, so you see there, right, assistant coach Dom Galena, right, with that shirt, right, where there's a will, there's a way. Right, that's for Will DeRouchish, right? He was killed last August, freak accident in New Hampshire, right? That's kind of their motto this year, right? With, WD, right? Where there's a will, there's a way, all right? So whether it's Scott DeVerna, whether it's Will DeRouchish, Wantagh community rallies around theirs, and very, very strong ties, right? They call themselves the Tribe, right? That's what they're all about, right? I have a bunch of Warriors who are texting me during the broadcast. They're all tuning in. Just a great lacrosse community that's got to love this team.
Tribe, indeed. They have their backs for one another. And this team's a very good example of it as well. Constantly, day in and day out, they continue to push each other because they want to be the best. They want to make it back to the LIC, and they want to go even further and take that home. Have a chance at a state title. All starts with the start of the season, already 2-0 on the year, looking to make it 3-0. They have a fast break. Martini passes this one off.
Yeah, nice clear, right? Nice strong pass by Pizarro, right? Guy wasn't open all that much, but threw a dime in there.
We have it up top for Loftman. Passes this one away. Nicholson to Giacobello. Spins, trying to get by his defender. Tries to look over the middle for Loftman. He takes it, shoots, misses, but that's picked up by Passion. Passion now trying to go near side, but guarded very closely by Shishoa.
Shishoa can move, right, for a big guy, right? He's been super impressive.
Now Nicholson has it up top, loses the ball though, picks it back up. Trying to take the middle now, passes it out. Looking for a shot. Martini fires, but that one's saved by Einen.
Yeah, 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Wheeled it towards the net. That's not going to go in on someone like Einen.
For Washington now. Trying to close in on this one, but that one's knocked away by Luke Martini. Pardon me, Dylan Martini. Dylan Martini able to pick that one back up. One-on-one with the goalie. It's a shot, and it's a save by Einen. Able to kick that one away. Scooped up by Shishoa, who's looking to clear.
How about that, athleticism by Einen, right? Little split save.
Shishoa passes this one off.
Looks like a hockey goalie with that save. That one was huge. Mark that down. 8 minutes. Giacobello, kick save and a Butte. Splitsville by Einen.
And they needed it most. Still down 5. They got to score to get back into this one.
But again, it's created by a ride by Martini. Creates extra possessions.
Where the aggression comes in. Tommy McCarville has it, getting rode out by Forthifer. Scooping that up to his brother Liam. Whistle blows. Timeout will be taken by Port Washington.
This is a huge possession. Great timeout by Coach Levy.
Timeout on the field.
Every possession at this point matters so much. Still a whole lot of the season left ahead of them for the Vikings. Their next one comes on the 8th, where they take on Cary on this field again. On the 11th, they'll travel over to Roslyn right down the road. And on the 12th, they take on Combe-Sawoj. On the 15th, they will be home once again against Seaford.
Yeah, Cary's off to a good start, right? Goalie Richie Metzger going to Marist is great. Roslyn with Berger might have the best player in Nassau County, not on Wantagh, right? Seaford, Brian Falk. And you see this heavy dose of Suffolk, right? Coach Levy has his roots in Suffolk County. Comstoquag, right, added to Islip, Sayville, and Harborfield's heavy Suffolk schedule for Port.
You know, both of these teams trying to make their non-conference games a lot tougher to really try to bring the best out in their team, give them the best competition so that they can get ready for this conference season.
Yeah, you know, and Port Washington, right, they've kind of been that, when it gets back to the A's, they've kind of been that fourth team that's been hanging out, right, looking for their moment. You know, 2022, last county chip, right, 1995 and also 1990, right? Who's to say that the Vikings can't make a run, especially with 33 between the pipes?
7:20 left to go, 22 on the shot clock. Port Washington need an answer.
Yeah, zone Warriors.
With it now. Jacob Apat has it, passes this one off, shot by Iden. Saved though by Pissarro, and Wantagh on a fast break now.
Yeah, trusting the goalie, right, leads to a save. That one was, you know, pretty difficult, kind of handcuffed Pissarro, but no problem. Kid's been on his head all evening.
Nicholson will have to slow this one down. He passes it up top to Loftman. Loftman going to the far sideline. Over to Dylan Martini. Going up to the far side. He's guarded closely. Trying to create some space, cross pass. Nicholson over the middle, and he's able to find Luke Martini with a goal.
Yeah, I mean, he's not even open really, right? He has his guy sealed, right? Watch this look, right? So they move the ball.
Goal by number 32, Luke Martini.
And look, is he open? Would you throw that? Yeah, you would, right? If 3-2's on the other end of it. Only a freshman, folks. Look out. Look out, right? He's there for every single opportunity in front of the net. He seems to can it with that quick release.
Quite a game for the freshman, getting a hat trick in just the first half, and he continues to add on. So this faceoff's won by Dylan Freeman. It's a 4-on-3. Wantagh quickly collapses, brings back the numbers.
Yeah, a little hesitation by McCarville, right, to shoot that. I'm telling you, right, goalies can get in your head, right? You're scared to take one that might be saved, and perhaps, you know, GP is in the head of these Port Washington shooters.
They have it up top, Gannon over to McCarville. Goes over to the near side, passes it back up top. Playing with it now, goes across to Liam McCarville.
Yeah, I'd like to see him dodge that a little quicker.
Einen shoots, and that's saved by Pissarro.
Popcorn, right, little save, right, nice save, controls the rebound.
That's a deep pass going all the way to midfield. That's knocked down and picked up. Port Washington with it now. Looks like that's Jimmy Rather with it. He'll pass this one away. Gannon over the middle, that's a shot, and that's a Port Washington goal for Brendan Lang.
Yeah, Lang's had a lot of opportunities in the second half, finally cashes one in. Right, starts on a good ride. That's been kind of the theme of today. Ride it, get a goal. Jimmy Rather, right, takes some heat, takes some pressure, escapes. You work on that every day in practice. Escape pressure, gets a double team, switch the field, get it to the other side, find that crease that's been open. Little catch and shoot by Brendan Lang. Honorable mention All-County, good size, 5'11", 31 goals for his career.
Their goal here tonight for the Muhlenberg commit. Sport Washington back down by 5. 5:25 left to go. Freeman wins this face-off. It's a loose ball, though. We'll see who comes up with it. The team's trying to fight for it right now.
Big one, 50-50, but it's worth $1 million, this GB.
Looks like Port Washington pick it up. It'll step out of bounds, and it'll be Wantagh ball.
Yeah, great scrap. Good job by Freeman to pick it up. Just gets pushed out of bounds.
Very physical game, but it always is once you bring these teams to the mix. Never really giving up on any play.
Yeah, both teams, you know, their football teams, all of their athletics have been super strong this year. Hoops, lax, football, multi-sport athletes mixing it up.
Well, up top, Giacopello with it. Over to Loftman. Trying to attack the middle, finds it, man, over the middle. Trying to get it to Luke Martini, but that's knocked down. That'll be scooped up. Ogino Freeman with it.
A little face dodge by Einen. Comfortable out of the cage.
Einen over to Behan. Taking it all the way down for the Vikings.
That's what makes goalies great, right? Not only saving it, but the ability to handle the ball out, be confident. Only a sophomore plays like a seasoned senior.
You know, huge credit to him, too, especially after one of the early goals from Wantagh where they're able to tip it away from him. Still not afraid to come out of the cage and create some space to pass it off to clear it. Port Washington with it now. Arianen with it. Wants to attack, gets pushed out, though. Makes a defender fall. Passes it off. That's a shot behind the net. Picked up, though. Tommy McCarville with it. Gets pushed out, though. Pass this one away. Apat. Behind the net now. Attacking the near side. Amity shoots, but that goes... I think it went off of Pissarro's stick up into the air. Stays Port Washington ball.
Yeah, good patient offensive set by Port Washington. You know, you got to chase 5, right? Maybe, you know, go a little earlier, but still, it's early in the season. I think you're just happy with what you're seeing if you're Coach Levy. I'm not sure if winning this game is a top priority, but you got to keep getting better and love the patience that they showed on that last offensive set.
I don't think you could ask for better reps, especially against a team that's poised to be one of the best in all of Long Island.
Yeah, I think offensively, they've shown really well, right? Pissarro, again, that one wasn't the toughest save, but he's made a lot of them. You know, you lose the Braunschweiger brothers, right? 80 career goals from those two. Both were all-county this year. I think, you know, Port Washington's in a good spot offensively, right? The ability to create shots.
2:30 left on the clock. Wantagh up by 5. They'll look to close this one out and keep their undefeated season alive as they look to advance to 3-0. Far side of the field. Dylan Martini with it. Passes it behind.
Yes, this is when it's tough, right? You got to start taking some chances against these type of offensive players.
2 minutes left to go. Giacopello with it. Getting the pick from Passione. Opts to shoot. And they call that one in. That's a goal for Giacopello.
Yeah, nice job by him. Hard lefty move. Gets himself to the middle of the field. Things get a lot easier when you get that left-handed stick to the middle of the field. Takes that extra step. Right against the shorty, gets to the middle, no slide coming. A little look-away shot by Giacopello. Right again, something to prove this year. Maybe the guy on the offense that gets the least attention, but he wants it in a big way. Right, illness kind of derailed him a bit last year, but he's back. Right, and you know, nice to have a lefty who can finish, but then shows off some of his ability to dodge.
This one's won by Marvin. Passes it over to Tommy McCarville. Opts not to shoot it. Back up top. APAT with it now. Back over to McCarville. Just to the far side, spins back over to the left. That's a shot. That one's off the post, it looks like.
Yeah, APAT can sling it, right? That one hit the bar.
And, you know, I think these reps, again, very important for Port Washington as their offense starting to come together more and more as we go out through the season. Their go-to guy, Tommy McCarville, again, coach said he's the most dynamic player. He's waiting for a couple of other players to really blossom and grow into their own in order for this offense to get to be a lot more potent.
Yeah, and I think, you know, he has that look where he just draws eyes to him, and he's thrown that ability to throw it back to open shooters. I think that's something that you'll see throughout the year. McCarville just kind of draws a lot of attention with his shiftiness and quickness.
Minute left on the clock, 40 on the shot clock. Wantagh eating away the clock now as this one's all but over.
Yeah, you know, I think both teams are going to take away, you know, some positives, also think about and work on the negatives, right, as the season really starts to get going. But a Wantagh team that's been averaging 17 a game, right, 12 if you're Port, I think you're pretty happy with that. And if it wasn't for a hot Pizarro, I think you score some goals. But again, I think you're happy if you're Wantagh, the way they rode the ball, the way that they got opportunities. Still got to figure out the face-off X maybe a little bit, but undefeated's undefeated.
Can't ask for a better start to the season. Now 7 seconds left before Wantagh win this game. That will do it here. The Wantagh Warriors take down the Port Washington Vikings 12-6. Very closely, a close 6-goal game. He's mentioned before, Pizarro really just, I'd say one of the standout players in the net, perhaps the most standout player for Wantagh on the night.
Yeah, I mean, the usual suspects, right? You have the Martinis, Luke and Dylan, tremendous games. Passione as well, right? I think the ability to create goals in many different ways is what makes Wantagh special, right? They're unselfish, yet selfish at times when they should be. But you know, having 2-7 in the cage, building his confidence, I think that's a perfect recipe for this Wantagh that hopes to be the last team standing.
We wrap it up from here. The Wantagh Warriors come away with the win on the road, 12-6 over Port Washington. And this has been a Varsity Media production. Executive producers, Ben Turchin and Chris Sweeney. Technical director, Kevin Catalanoto. I'm Nick Peniago. Alongside me was Brian Soper, and camera operators Ron Pierre and Becca Kozics. Thank you very much for tuning in to this edition of the Varsity Media Sports Network.